Hi. I'm here giving you guys the month update. Today is January 4th, and she was discharged on December 4th of 2018. So, yes, we turned a whole month of having her home finally, and it's been such an amazing and very difficult road to get here. But we're finally just so thankful and grateful and blessed to finally have her home. I love her so much. Oh my god, I can't believe that she's finally home with me. I'm holding her, and I just feel like my life is finally complete. She's so chill right now. She actually just took a poop, and it's so weird because I feel like we know her very well. Like she started getting really fussy yesterday. Like she's very demanding. She'll cry like if she's hungry, of course. So we take care of her. Like we're pretty much on top of her schedule. So she'll sleep um like every like 3 to 4 hours. At the hospital, she was every 4 hours before she came home, and so she was like that for a couple weeks after we got home. So it stayed like that, and now it seems to be every 3 weeks. You want to be on the camera? And I noticed that she'll poop almost every day, and sometimes she can go up to 2 days without pooping. But anyways, um, let me go back to the thing. But I just wanted to point that out because I noticed that she was really fussy. She was really fussy last night, and she was fussy a little bit today, even while she was eating. So that was kind of like something else is up. But she finally took a poop, and now she feels, I know that she feels so much better. And you could tell, like, her tummy feels a lot softer. Her doctor did tell me, like, babies can go up to 5 days without pooping. And even though the doctor told me that, I feel like that's not her norm for right now. Like, we kind of like know what's up. So, anyways, she's finally home. What I've only shared this with a couple of people, like my family, of course. Not everybody knows this, so this is gonna be new. I think a lot of information is gonna be new. Um, so she got discharged on the 4th of December, right? That was on a Tuesday, and we were just like having a blast. At the same time, everything was so new, but we were just so happy to finally have her home. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? I'm like enjoying having her home. Of course, I'm really nervous of being home alone with her because I have to keep my baby alive. That's um, pretty much the whole thing. Like she's a preemie, she has all these needs, she has medications that have to be given to her, and that was scaring me too because I'm pretty sure they told us everything at the hospital, but everything was going like so fast. That night when we got home, I had to call the hospital again to make sure, like, okay, when was the last time that she was given this medication, to make sure that I didn't like overdose her or like that her medications were too close. So I had to get a peace of mind to so I can continue that schedule if I could. Anyways, so Friday comes along and I'm getting ready to give her her medication. When I picked up her medication at Brady's Children's, the pharmacist told me that I could give her medication through a syringe and, put it at the side of her mouth. And, that's another way that you could do it. Um, so I tried doing that on Friday. And I don't know why the whole time we were at the hospital, they were always giving her medication in her bottle with a little bit of milk first, and like making sure that she finishes that little bit of milk, and then when she was done with that, we can give her the rest of her feedings. So I should have known better. But anyways, I tried doing the syringe thing, how the pharmacist told me. I was following instructions, and my baby was turning blue. She was choking, and I was freaking out, but at the same time I wasn't sure if I was like am I really freaking out or what's going on? Like, is she okay? And she couldn't stop coughing. And the first thing that comes to my mind is I call Julian, my husband, but of course he doesn't answer. And I'm just like, I could just feel my heart beating so fast. And my baby, she's blue. So I called 911 right away, and we end up going to the hospital. And I'm just so scared. I feel so dumb. I feel so stupid. Like, wow, like we couldn't even have her a whole full week, and we're back at the hospital. This time we go to Rady's Children's Hospital. Um, and so she was a little bit better once we were there, but they wanted to keep her overnight because her breathing wasn't normal. So I just felt like a total failure. My husband, eventually, he had already called me back while I was in the ambulance riding um, to the hospital, and I told him like I'll meet you there. But I couldn't stop crying, and I couldn't stop apologizing to him. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm such a bad mom. Like, what the hell did I do? I'm so stupid. Why did I even do that? And my baby had to be at the hospital that night, and I felt stupid. Like I already said that a lot of times, but um, we got to take her home the next day, and they were scaring us the next day because even though she was better, she seemed a lot better. She had already lost 10 grams. So when we brought her home, she was 6 pounds and 11 ounces. So she had already lost the 10 grams. And so they told us, oh, if she doesn't eat her next feeding, we're probably gonna end up keeping her home and keeping her here at the hospital again. And me and my husband were like, no, she's gonna come home because, she's not eating because this is not her environment. You're probably not warming up her milk. Like, she already has particular needs that we already know about her. So thankfully, she was able to come home right away. They also wanted me to feed her there to make sure that I knew how to give her the medication. And of course, I knew already. And now I've been on top of that. I feel so much more confident. Like we have a schedule, um, and she's perfect. Like I think she knows it too. She'll get really hungry and then she gets a little feisty. But once we put the little burp cloth on her neck, like she'll calm down, and that's when she knows that she's about to eat. So, anyways, that was like one thing that I was kind of ashamed of sharing. But yeah, ever since then, life has gotten a lot better. I love being home with her. I enjoy being home alone with her pretty much, and well, my husband and her sister are here, but for the most part, it's just her and myself. And the first couple of days, it was really hard because we, even though she already had a schedule, like it was me doing everything. And I don't want to put my husband on the spot, but uh, he said that comment like, I have to go to work. But I told him, like, Julian, you can't tell me that right now because, yes, I understand you go to work, but if you can at least help me while, if I'm doing her diaper, you can do her bottle, or like, vice versa. Like, just help me a little bit. I don't ask for much. She's your daughter too. Um, and actually, after having that conversation, I think he understood so much more. um, like, yes, I enjoy doing everything, but I need the help. And so I'm glad that it didn't get bigger than it had to. um, but that's why we're learning, and I'm learning. It's my first time doing everything mommy wise. So, and it's so weird because I've taken care of kids for as long as I can remember. I work with kids, and but I guess now that I have my own baby, and she's preemie baby, she has special needs. It's um, so much more nerve wracking. Um, I just don't want to mess up, and look how I already messed up. Um, it's something that I'm still trying not to beat myself about it, but I keep doing it. Um, but I'm just thankful that she's finally here. You know, we spent 112 days in the NICU since she was born. Like it would have been, I think it's like 115 since when I got hospitalized. Um, yeah, and then if you include us going back to Rady Children's. So yeah, it was just really difficult. That first week also that she got back, um, you know, my stepdaughter's here, so she was still going to school, and it started to rain really hard, and it was really cold, so I had to ask for help. I think too, like if I didn't ask for help, I was expected to take her to school, which I don't mind taking her to school. That's not the issue. The issue is like, you know, we just got the baby, and how am I gonna take the baby out when it's really cold and raining? So I'm glad that I spoke out. I'm advocating for myself and her. Like, you know, I can't take the baby out right now. So her grandma was taking her to school those couple of days, and then our friend, she had offered to take her to school too that week, and they were so helpful. It was such a big help. The following week is when we started going to see the specialist doctor. So right now she's seeing four specialist doctors besides her pediatrician. So she sees ophthalmology for her eyes to make sure that you know, she's not gonna go blind because she is a preemie. Her eyes were still developing. Um, she's seeing a kidney doctor too because during the last weeks of her stay, her blood pressure was coming up, and it wasn't normal for her. She's also seeing a pulmonologist because that was her biggest struggle by far, up to date. I think she's all right now, but her lungs, she's had a rough road with her lungs. And then finally, her hemangioma, that her strawberry mark that she has inside of her left eye, that I always knew something was up with that eye. Whenever she was really little, you could just tell. I could tell that her eye was always just smaller, and it would get swollen sometimes, and then sometimes she couldn't even open it, and so that always worried me. But when I would ask, they would tell me, "Oh, some babies are more sensitive when we lay them on that one side of their their body, so she's probably more sensitive on that side." And so for a long time, just that just didn't sit well with me. Thankfully, I made a really strong connection with her primary nurses, and they saw too, you know, because they saw her growing, that the little strawberry mark was getting it was more noticeable because she was getting bigger, so it was getting more noticeable. So she got her eyes checked through an MRI, and that made me feel guilty because they had to poke her. Aww. They had to poke her. They had to poke her, and that's how they found out that she had her hemangioma. Like I said in the other updates, they told me that they normally don't give babies medication because it'll grow like on their back or on their arms, and it's like it'll get big and mushy and red. Like that's why it's called a strawberry mark. But because it's inside her eye and it could get big like that, they wanted to treat it right away, and that way it won't affect her eyesight. And I think it's helped so much since then. Let me get up. I have to get up. Okay, so if I have to stand with her, she likes to be rocked. Um, so yeah, where's they going? So yeah, so they finally decided that they're gonna treat it, and I guess at that point I just felt like, wow, like I can't believe that I was right. Like I always knew, when I guess there goes my instinct as a mom, that it worked, and now she's being treated for it, and her eye looks so much better. Like it looks just like the other eye, and that medication that they're giving her for her eye is actually also helpful for her blood pressure. So it's like two stones in one, or whatever that saying, however that goes. Um, so yes, um, so she's doing good. She's doing so much better. We just went to the doctor's today, and she's now up. She's 8 pounds today, 8 pounds even, and she's 19 inches long. She was born at 14 inches. Um, so yeah, I think she just wants to be right. Um, so she's doing so much better. As far as I go, like I've said it since day one that I've been struggling with postpartum depression and anxiety. And if you're a preemie parent, is more, I forgot the percentage. I think it's 50%, or like a big percentage that most likely you're gonna go through that. And so here I am, right? And I was taking advantage of the support groups. I was seeing a therapist. I started seeing a chiropractor, and I even went to yoga with prayer at a Catholic church that was near my house. And so all of those things were so helpful to me. Like I think everything that I was doing to take care of myself was, I enjoyed everything, and I like that I had something to do every day. Right now it's been difficult because even though she's home, and I enjoy taking care of her, I don't have that outlet where I can share what I'm going through, or that time when we went to the hospital. um, so I miss my support group so much. And then we were recommended too, like when she comes home, don't take her out. It's flu season, so you have to protect her from the flu season. Sleepy. Um, so yeah, that's why we haven't been going out, and I've enjoyed it. Like I love staying home with her. I think this has been the only time that I have been off of work, and that I enjoy being at home because I'm taking care of her. Before, when she was at the hospital, even though I've been off since then, my house was messy. Like I was the whole day at the hospital, and by the time I got home, I was trying to catch up on any sleep, like eating. I try to, I guess, do some cleaning here and there, but for the most part, I was already tired when I would get home. What else? Um, this is something that is also going to be new to share, and I think this is why I haven't posted a video, because of the stigma. I'm gonna try breastfeeding, but of course without showing my stuff. Okay, so after I finished my 8 week um, post C-section, after I went to the checkup, when I was it called? I think I'm gonna have to breastfeed her, so let me back off for a little bit, and then I'm gonna cover myself. Okay, maybe I can just. I'm just gonna do this. She's sleepy. This is kind of hard already. um, she's fighting her sleep. Okay. So, like I said, after my post C-section checkup, or post pregnancy, or postpartum checkup, yeah, that's when I was officially diagnosed um, with postpartum depression and anxiety. And that's when the doctor prescribed me on Zoloft. So that's the first time I've said it out loud. So I didn't want to take it. It took me a whole week to actually give in. And, I was scared when I told my husband. He was scared for me too. And, we were both like, no, I don't have to take it. And you're going to get better eventually when she's home. But this was back in October when I had my postpartum checkup. So, anyways, it wasn't until a whole week after that that's when I started taking it. And so, yeah, fast forward to after that, I am now seeing a psychiatrist. I just saw him for the first time on December 12th because for some reason, psychiatrists here in San Diego are very limited. And then with the insurance, it's crazy. That's just crazy to me. So I had to wait because this was back in October, and this was after my OBGYN told me, like, I can only give you more time until December 7th, right? This was back in October. I still didn't know about Julie coming home yet. Um, and so it wasn't until I saw that psychiatrist that he prescribed me on something else. So that's called Lexapro, and it's pretty much, I guess, something else for the depression. Because I told him, I'm suffering from all of this, and I kind of didn't like this person at first because he is a guy, and I felt like he wasn't as empathetic or as considerate of my emotions, I guess. Um, and he was really quick to, like, he had only spent like 15 minutes with me, where I'm used to, like, when I see my therapist, I spend a whole hour with her, and this guy had spent like barely 10 minutes with me. And from this was the first time I met him, and I told him, like, this is what I'm going through, like, now she's home. But I told him about the hospital, that we went to emergency, and he was like quick to put me on something else. And so this, just recently, when I saw him again this week, it was just like another 10, 15 minutes. He seemed a little nicer this time. um, but he prescribed me on something else. So this one, I forget. I think he put me on two different things, because he wants me to, like, wean off the Lexapro. The Lexapro was to wean me off the Zoloft, because obviously that wasn't working with me. Like, I was still showing symptoms of depression, and like all that stuff. And now, I guess the Lexapro was supposed to make it better, and so come to find out, it really didn't make things better, because, like I shared before in my Instagram stories, the anxiety is just like full on crazy. So he has prescribed me on these other things. He actually put me on the same medication that she's taking. She's taking Propella now, and I told him, like, oh my god, my baby's taking that too. But I guess for me, it's gonna, like, supposed to ease off the Propella. The It's supposed to ease off the anxiety. I'm supposed to go in 4 weeks and check in with him to see how it's working out. And it's, I don't know that I am proud to say that I'm taking medication. Like, I've met so many people already that have taken medication, and I'm not judging anybody, but I guess I never thought that was gonna be me. Um, and like I've said also before, I think I have lived with anxiety and depression all of my life, but I didn't know the name of it at the time, or my family or my culture is not known about. Um, so definitely very, very eye opening. My husband supports me, but he's just scared for me, and he is very hopeful that I'm gonna get over it, or you know go um, get better. So that's like one of the major things that I needed to share. Now I feel like I just lifted something off my shoulders. So yes, depression and anxiety, it did not go away just like that. Like a lot of people thought it would. I'm learning to manage it, and a lot of times I'm not able to. Like, I break down easily. Today of all days, I just felt pretty good. Like, I felt confident, and yeah, I think today was progress. And I like her pediatrician a lot, I think, because I had already, during one of the last visits where Julian was with me, her dad, um, I broke down with the pediatrician. I told her, I'm going through this, and it's really hard. And she asked me, like, well, what do you guys, what does your day look like? And do you have help? And, yes, Julian is my help. When he gets home, and for the most part, big sister helps out. um, but I'm not allowed to take her out, so it's not like I have other people to help me, or I have to protect her. They did tell us to be careful with her, to be very cautious with her, and so that's what I've been. And she told me, then she was like, what do you do for fun? And I just broke it down. I broke down that day as she was asking me that, because I realized, like, wow, like, what do I do for fun? Um, like, even before her, I wasn't really doing things for me. Like, and I told her, like, I used to enjoy hiking, and I used to enjoy walking and exercising, but I don't, I stopped doing that even after I got pregnant because I was scared. I think I developed this, like, postpartum, or not postpartum, but it's, what is it called? You know what I mean? If you've had a baby, or if you know about it, like, you can have this condition even before you have the baby. So I strongly believe I was already experiencing all these symptoms before I had her. Like, I wasn't enjoying my pregnancy. At work, um, we would go on these field trips, and I would be exhausted. I from walking, um, and I didn't like it. And I would have to wake up really early in the morning just to go to work at 5. So my days were so long. And then I was taking some summer college courses, um, just to have something that I actually enjoyed, because I was taking one English class at City College, and I actually really enjoyed doing that. Like, it just made me feel smart, and then being in class with my baby, it made me feel like we were both learning. So I love that. But the whole fact of, like, having this long day, um, like, having anxiety just to make it to school on time because we had a field trip that day, and the bus was gonna get back to the building really late. That gave me anxiety. Um, where was I going with this? Well, yes, I've been experiencing all of this since before I had her. Like I said, I found out that I was pregnant with her at 16 weeks. I didn't know that I could get pregnant because I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, which means that, and my doctor told me that that's why I couldn't get pregnant. That's why I thought I couldn't get pregnant, because um, I wasn't having my period for, like, over the last year, and I didn't think it was a big deal. I was just like, okay, I'm not bleeding. Like, I don't get to buy tampons, so and there for like a couple months I was checking, like, okay, am I pregnant? Like, I'm not getting my period, so I'm pregnant, I guess. But it would always come out negative. So supposedly I got pregnant in February, but in February, after my birthday, we went, because we took a road trip, my husband and I. And after we came back, I believe I got, like, food poisoning or something, because we went to the emergency room, and they took all these tests, and obviously being pregnant was something that came out negative. So I guess supposedly that's when I got pregnant, but I just still can't think of what day it was, because I don't think it was my birthday. But they didn't catch it, so maybe it was too early to catch, or I got pregnant right after that. It's still hard to tell. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, well, she's finally home, and that's what matters most to me. Um, I'm not getting income, so we're living off of my husband's income, and I feel guilty because I'm not, what is it, collaborating to the house, or that's why I try my best to keep the house clean, which is kind of easy because we don't have a lot of stuff. And I feel like that is helping me. It's kind of therapeutic for me, like, to keep the house clean. It makes me feel good, and especially now that I've been having visitors. um, it just makes me feel good that somebody's gonna come see me, and they're gonna come see the baby. So all of that is therapeutic for me. I'm supposed to get paid because I have disability insurance, but that's taking forever. And like my last time that I got paid was in October, so I haven't received anything since then. I've been calling almost every day just to follow up on that. Um, and the problem is that I don't know why the hospital was taking forever to share my stuff. Like I had to sign papers and everything, and so I think finally this week I'm supposed to get something. So hopefully, um, I get something so I can start contributing and helping out my husband because I feel guilty, like I said, and it's not easy, you know. Um, Also, the fact that I don't drive to that we don't drive to the hospital every day, that's helped a lot because that was a lot just on gas. But at the same time, I could not go a day without seeing my baby. So I'm just so thankful. And I feel like this year is already starting out positively. Like I'm trying to look at the bright side of things. I feel like I'm gonna cry right now. I can feel my voice cracking, but like I just wanted to make this video because when I started going through what I was going through, I was looking at like resources. I was looking at I was looking here on YouTube to see like like who else has gone through this, and like there was nobody that I knew in my circle that had a preemie baby. Like my sister had a preemie baby, and they told me like because I was diagnosed with severe preeclampsia that it's not hereditary, which was weird because she had it with her three babies. But at the same time, my baby was smaller than her smallest baby, and then my baby spent 112 days in the NICU, where my sister's baby spent a week, which I'm sure that was like a torture for her. But like I hadn't had met someone that had like the same exact experience, and I feel like that's what I needed. And I met those kinds of people by going to the support groups. So going back to what I said, the reason why I'm making this video is because there's gonna be someone out there looking for something, looking for answers, or just looking to see if there's somebody else like them. And I'm here to tell you that, I'm with you, and I know the feeling, I know the journey, and you are not alone. There's like so many people. It feels like you're alone, but you're not. Um, we're feeling the same. Maybe you guys could see me here. Let me go back on the bed. Um, so you're gonna get through this, and I know right now it doesn't feel like it because I know that's how I felt. Like no matter how many people told me you're gonna get through it, or you're strong, or it's okay, or all those things that people normally say, um, it's gonna get better. But you gotta do homework, and you have to reach out to the professionals, reach out to your social workers, your doctors, your baby's nurses. Uh, Reach out to anybody that's going to listen, and if you have to isolate yourself or separate yourself from people that don't say nice things to you, or that don't seem to understand where you're coming from, um, don't feel bad about it. That's something that I I did. Um, but definitely reach out and apply to other programs that are out there, because I didn't know of the programs that are out there for my baby, and that's something that gave me so much anxiety too, because um, you think there's no help, but there is help. You have to reach out and you have to ask. And I know at the time you don't have the mind for that, because I didn't. But as long as just remember that you're advocating for your baby and you're advocating for yourself, because you're the one that needs the help. So like the baby, she gets SSI. She has Medi-Cal, which helps so much, because I can't even imagine what the bills would be. And we get WIC, which is something that I like for sure thought we were not gonna get. Um, but that helps so much immensely, because she has to have special formula, because she has really bad reflux. That's why I have to hold her. We have to hold her upright whenever she eats, because she's really prone to vomiting everything up. Um, and it's painful for her. So she has to have a special formula. And I was able to get that through WIC. So I'm just so thankful that there's help out there. Um, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I guess maybe I'll be posting more videos um, to update on her milestones, because I think that's gonna be like really big. Today was big because I was able to take her on a walk for the first time after her pediatrician, and I have just been experiencing so much fear to take her outside. And I think it helped that the weather was nice today, because it's been really cold here in San Diego. And it's normally not like that, but I know it's winter, and I normally don't have a problem with it being really cold. It's just that because we're in San Diego, we're not prepared for that weather. So it's kind of like a big surprise. So, of course, to me, it's like, okay, let's not go out at all. It's fine. But today was really good. So I think I'm gonna. Since she already turned a month of being home, I I'm hoping that next Tuesday I'll be able to reconnect with my support groups, and hopefully take her to see my therapist too, because I saw my therapist only one time while she got home. I wasn't able to see her because our schedules weren't coinciding, but I was able to see her once because I left her with her dad and her sister, and I was able to do that. Like I'm okay driving by myself, but when it comes to having her in the car, that just freaks me out. Because I feel like I have to have someone with me, and if I don't, I just feel helpless. But today was good, and I've been wanting to say this, but if you guys are familiar with the movie The Benchwarmers, it's a comedy that came out a long time ago. There's a guy in the movie, I don't remember the character's name, but he was scared to go outside to even touch the sun. I feel like that person, like that character with her. Like I want to take her outside. Um, but like I said, today was a big triumph because we made it outside, and I don't know, like we were both in a good mood. I think we fed off of each other, and it makes me feel really good about that. So I think that's it for now. This video went on too long. I'm gonna try to lay her down right now so she can rest easily. Mm, I'm sure there's other things I wanted to address, but I didn't get a chance to. But I think I want to make different videos to like make one that where I mention like everything I did to help me manage. manage the things. I think I want to make another video of the like how I arrange her little nursery stuff here. It's just kind of cool. In no way am I like a YouTuber or anything like that, but I think I want to share those things because I'm a new mom, and like I said, maybe there's a new mom out there, a new preemie mom that looks like me. Um, I would love to record in Spanish, but I get really like stuck in my mind. I can say it in my mind, but I can't say it out loud. That I feel bad about that. But anyways, I'm gonna finish this up before my husband gets home, because then I'm gonna get really embarrassed. Oh, and then I wanted to address, like, like I took her out today, and there are some like already like some little gatherings that we have been invited to, and we have said yes to some of them, but my husband and I are like, like, should we take her out? Is it safe? Like, should we still like, protect her? Like, and I think it just depends. I think we're gonna end up playing it by ear, so we'll see how that goes. I've been wanting to take her to my mom's already because they haven't really met her yet. But everybody at my mom's house is sick, so it makes me like, like upset. But I have to protect her, and they understand. They understand why I can't take her. So uh, they need to hurry up and get better. Um, so yeah, let Julie, we'll let Julie say goodbye. Bye, Julie. We'll let you rest now. And I'm gonna stop recording. So I'll see you guys next. Bye.